Welcome back to Wilde On, where we get spiritual on Saturdays. Today's guest is a world-renowned psychic medium, master spiritual teacher, best-selling author, and former professional wrestler. My girl, Colby Rebel. Let's get started. Colby Rebel, how did you become a professional wrestler?
Well, I was a fitness model before that. So I had done a few magazines and a few conventions and things like that. And then through one of my colleagues' friends, she found out about the wrestling. And so we went and did it. It's in Los Angeles at the Forum. And it was crazy. It was a lot because it was... they had like over 500 women kind of going for this. And then every week there'd be a cut list, right?
Wow.
And then, so luckily I got to one of the top 42 and then there you have it. So It was fun.
So It was like basically a gig you booked. It wasn't like you had been a professional wrestler prior to that.
No, it was just kind of working hard at it and then learning it and learning the athleticism of it for sure.
So how long was your crash course before you did a show?
I believe it was a few months.
Oh, okay.
3 months. Yeah. And it was twice a day. We were twice a day. So it was a lot.
Yeah. And how did you find your body responded? Like, I'm sure you had an image in your head how it might feel, but how was the reality versus what you had imagined?
Well, one thing I remember is, first of all, the floor is really hard, right?
Yeah.
I think it's soft because you bounce.
Yeah.
So I think the first time I took a bump, I was like, oh, that hurt. And then the other crazy thing was the ropes are so tight. And so the first time we were running the ropes back and forth, I just had major black and blue marks up and down the side of my body until my body got used to it.
Yeah. And twice a day, your body's going to get used to that.
Oh, yeah. But it was crazy. I mean, when I look back now, I'm like, what was I thinking? One of the best experiences ever.
I was going to say it was probably such a, not only just a physical strengthening learning curve, but a mental fortitude you had to break through.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But it was fantastic. It was a lot of fun.
That's wonderful. And then where did the spiritual side of Colby Rebel be born from?
Well, that was something that I had always done. I just thought everybody was doing it. So I wasn't really... I wasn't really kind of paying attention to it too much. I just was naturally doing it. And then, I realized after the wrestling, I actually went into accounting. And
wow, that's a left turn.
Yeah, pretty crazy. But the spiritual stuff, like I said, was always there. But I realized that I really wasn't living my purpose. So although the tax manager was great and it paid well and it was stable, I could just really tell that I wasn't following my purpose. And I really sat with it saying, what do I do? Like, why am I not happy? What am I supposed to be doing? And it just kind of came to me like, you talk to people, that's what you do. And it was just very enlightening. And now it's just been unbelievable how much my life is so different and so much fun and so amazing. It's been really incredible.
So how did you start? Like, I'm kind of in that place as well where I'm back into wrestling now. I'm so happy. I have all these creative outlets like my podcast and I'm doing a lot of other side projects, but I've been a firefighter for 6 years and that's been a huge learning curve for me. And I think giving back to people was really fulfilling, but I'm feeling like I'm at a kind of a crossroad again. What was your first step, really?
I feel like the first step was to really just sit and ask myself, what is it I just really enjoy? Like, what is so natural to me? And like you said, I think what's interesting, we learn a lot. You train to be the firefighter. I trained in tax accounting, wrestling. But sometimes what we're meant to do is what's already there, what's
Mm.
just already natural, and we just overthink it too much.
Yeah.
So I feel like for you, it's really going in. If you know you enjoy helping people, but you also like to be creative, then you just sit with that to say, all right, well, what really has those two things in it, or if there's anything else that you enjoy.
Yeah.
And I feel like then it kind of comes to you, where I do feel like it's probably going to be easier than what you realize.
Really interesting. Because I guess it's such a dichotomy of dealing with what you know you love, what your passions are, but what society puts on you. Like you have to have a pension and da 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 da.
Yeah, yes, I know that makes it really tough, but
Yeah.
you can absolutely do whatever you want and make enough money to have a pension anyway, right? It just may
That's
take a
it.
little longer to get that started, right? Because you don't necessarily have a company funding it.
Right.
But you can absolutely still have everything, and even more, really. You can have so much more. So it really is possible. It's just sitting with what are some things that you enjoy, Chantel?
Oh goodness. Well, I've always loved writing. That's been
Yeah.
a big thing. I love I've got an amazing right-hand woman, Rochelle Douris, and we've created this podcast together, and I've really started to love acting as a side. And I really love talking to people, but in like an interview kind of way, and pulling out the intimate side of them that people might not know about.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
So, and what about just using your experience to write a screenplay? Have you thought about that?
no, I wouldn't even know where to start. But absolutely.
Yeah, I would consider, if I love writing, right, and interviewing, then write a screenplay.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't even consider that as an option. Um, so with everything that you have to offer, you're offering courses now. Has everything moved to online because of COVID, or was it always online?
No, well, I did do some online, but yeah, everything moved online for now. And I still have a physical location,
Hmm.
but I'm also enjoying reaching so many more people because it's online. I mean,
Right.
I'm so fortunate. I have people that are in other countries that are taking the classes, or on the other side of the state here taking classes. And, so it's really great to just be able to reach that many people and help that many people. So
Yeah.
I see clients on Zoom or over the phone, in person if they want. I do all the classes, and I do different types of classes. So I teach classes on building your intuition, to really utilizing all your gifts, to really building your spiritual business and what does that look like, manifestation workshops. So it really is exciting to be able to offer so many different types of experiences where people can expand their own gifts.
So that's a question I have for you. I've kind of had this spiritual awakening, and I feel like everything is exploding at the same time. And I feel like I'm immersed in books and I'm immersed in podcasts, and I feel literally like my whole world has changed. How do you hone in on what your gifts are? It's not something you can hone in on. It's they come to you eventually.
Well, I feel like it's about exploring and expanding and practicing them all. And then by doing that, you're going to see where you're really drawn to, or what you
Mm.
really find a passion for. So, everyone, you could do intuitive work, psychic work, mediumship, connecting to loved ones on the other side. Some people use cards, so whether that's tarot or angel, oracle cards. Some people, want to use pendulums. Some people want to work with energy of Reiki and things like that. So I feel like it's, practicing and playing with it all.
Right.
Back in the day when I first started, I was always pulling out a deck of cards to play with them and pull a card, but then I realized, like, I didn't need them. Like, I already just had
Ah.
it. So I don't even, when I do a reading, I just sit there and go. It's just it really is so natural. And it may not be like that for everyone,
Yeah.
but you can certainly practice and do it, and it will become more natural. But I think it's really about what do you enjoy. I do feel, though, if people are not passionate about what they're doing, there won't be longevity in it.
Right.
Because they won't have the drive to keep it creative, to keep inspired. And, you know, and it is, to have your own business in general is a lot of work. And some people just expect it's easy, right? Oh, I could be my own boss. Well, guess what? Your own boss has to pay payroll taxes and scheduling and building. And it's a lot more hours than what you're going to put in at a quote unquote regular job. So, you know, I think it's important to be passionate about it. And then that's what's gonna help you.
So when you have clients in your classes, would you identify yourself as a medium, a psychic intuitive?
I'm a psychic medium and teacher and author.
Okay. When you have students, can you literally get a vibe right away who's naturally more inclined than, because you've got a whole group of like, I don't know how many people in your Zoom classes. Do you kind of get a vibe right away?
Yeah, you absolutely get a vibe as to kind of what's going on, or where they can go with their gift, which is also really fun. But I think what's one of the most wonderful things is when people, they don't necessarily want to do this professionally, but they want to expand their own gifts and just kind of better their life. And that's always fun to see, that when people connect and start having the pieces come in for them. And, you know, when you see the look on their face when they kind of do a reading and they actually get something that the person can connect to, it's so exciting to watch people have that process.
Well, I'm very interested. One of your students, Graham, he's the one that connected us, and he's really good friends with my girlfriend, Rochelle. I know he's been very much on the spiritual journey, and I'm very interested, I am very interested in signing up for some of your programs moving forward, because I feel like I have so much growth, but I need more of a structure. My life's so busy. I need structure.
And it's tough too. I think we can read all of the spiritual books that help us, and they are fantastic. There's a lot of really great ones out there. But when you sit for 2 hours and you actually have someone explaining the intricacies or how something's working, and then you get a chance to practice it and just kind of put it out there in a safe place, I really feel like that's what really catapults our experience and really helps us expand our gifts.
That's what I really need. And I feel like this meeting of each other is such an aligned experience for me. And I feel like it's like the boop on the head I needed to be like, okay, girl, take the course.
Yeah. Just do it. Just do it. What are you waiting for? Exactly.
As you said, as a psychic medium, intuitive teacher, is there anything that our listeners, we don't always have an experience, or we don't have the luxury to explain who we are, or if you feel like there's any misconceptions, is there anything you'd like our listeners to know about you and what you do that they might not be able to find by Googling you?
Well, I think what's really interesting, especially about me, is that I'm incredibly down to earth. I think a lot of people who are in the spiritual environment, they kind of get so woo-woo. And to me, it's okay if it's woo-woo as long as it's authentic. But I feel like sometimes there's a misalignment. Like some people think, well, I'm very down to earth, or give it to you as it is. I can't really go into the spiritual realm. And it's like, you absolutely can. You absolutely don't have to be in your tie-dyed, worried about your chakras. Like you can absolutely just be. In fact, it's so much more connected to be who you are in such a pure space. Because when you're really in alignment, that's really what we're talking about. People say, oh, you have to clear your chakras, or you have to raise your vibration, or all of this. And of course, that's true. But when you just think about being so who you are and so comfortable in your own skin and owning it, that really is what's in alignment. And when you're clicked in, that's what makes that channel so pure to be able to tune in.
And I can completely attest to that. I've gone through this, the second divorce, and it was terrible. And the one thing I was really committed to doing, besides being a super mom, was healing the relationship I have with myself. And that's the one I've never paid attention to. I've identified my codependency issues, and I'm trying to work through those. But alignment, oh my goodness, when you really start living your truth, life is so much easier. It's so stupid.
It really is. But it really is. And I think a lot of us are programmed to fear living our true self and our true life. It's like, again, as we were saying, society wants you to have a particular job or a particular role, have a particular identity. Whereas, and then I think that's the amazing thing is your identity is just your truth. And once you're in your truth, you're in your power.
And it seems so simple, but so hard to get to that place.
Well, I think people just, again, they really overthink it, or the fear steps in. They're so afraid of change and the ramifications of that. And what's that going to do to them? And what's that mean? But when you just allow yourself to surrender, to say, okay, I don't know. When I was going into being a psychic medium professionally, I did say to Spirit, look, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go for it, because I was so in my own way. I had so much stress and anxiety. Like, I just was not letting go of the accounting because I was just so fearful. And when I finally was just on the edge of everything I had, I said to Spirit, look, I'm going to do this, but I really need to be successful. I want to be successful at this. I don't want to struggle to do it. So I'm going to give you everything I've got. I'm going to serve. When you don't want me to serve, you just take it away. You let me know. But until then, I'm going to stop fighting. And I will tell you, it's honestly, yes, I built and I grew, and it took a few years, but also everything just lined up. I've written 3 books in 8 years.
Wow.
I teach, I've traveled internationally. I've been so lucky. And what I think is just mostly I think if we were said proud of something, what I'm most proud of is that I've been so fortunate that some of the world's best mediums have served with me, or allowed me to serve alongside of them.
Wow.
And that is just insanely incredible and important. And it says a lot, because, these are people that have been in the business 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And to be able to serve alongside them really is an honor, and it's been a privilege. And then just to have my students, it's just kind of fun that, like, to have people, be so excited to have a reading with me. Like, that's really cool and fun, right?
For sure.
Some people are like, I can't believe I'm talking to you, Colby. I'm like, yes, we are. Let's do it, But also to see my students kind of go from that first time being so afraid or not wanting to put it out there, to now, like, really building their own business, to really kind of carving out their own path. It's been incredible to watch, and to watch their confidence build and grow. And again, for them to become in that place of being very grounded in who they are.
Well, I just want to say congratulations, number 1. And number 2, thank you for being so strong and powerful and taking that leap, because by you doing it, you've motivated people like myself to be like, okay, Colby can do it. Maybe I can do it too.
Yeah, you absolutely can. You absolutely can do it. It's just sorting out where are you most passionate and where you're going, and just following it and following what resonates with you the most.
Okay. Now, I don't want to put you on the spot. We've had quite a few spiritual guests on season 3 of my podcast, but I've not asked any of them. Would you be willing to do a little bit of a reading with me today? Just like a
peekaboo? Let's do it. Let's do a peekaboo. Of course.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. So just kind of, just tuning into just everything. I know you mentioned that second divorce. But I also really feel like there's something about that experience where you're not going to settle moving forward. I just feel like, I see you becoming so powerful in who you are that it leads you to another. There is going to be a third.
Okay.
But there's going to be a third, but it really feels like it's going to be the one that's so in alignment with you. And it does feel like now there's a lot of back and forth with this relationship. There's a lot of passion, and it's going to be different because it's not just going to be perfect. To me, there is some arguing and fighting and differences, and and that's also though because you both are so passionate and you care so much that there's going to be a little bit of fighting around it. But I really feel like you're going to work through it and it's going to be okay, right? And it's surprising. I just wouldn't be surprised if you actually haven't met this person already, just because I feel like there's someone around you and with you that that this I feel like this could be your person, but they're not in the box that you would have had other people in. They're not what you would have thought you would have ended up with.
Yep.
And I feel like that is what makes it so exciting. Okay. So does that make sense so far? Have we been spending time?
Okay.
Yep. Nope.
I'm with you. I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll raise an eyebrow.
Okay, got it. Thank you. But I just feel like too that there is this space too where you want to make sure for your son that you show up, and I feel like you are going to live your life a little more radically, but it's going to be really powerful because I feel like it teaches your son like he could do anything. Go for it. Go do it. You got this. And I just feel like for you that's really going to set an example. So I feel like he's going to be just fine getting through everything and working through the process. And I feel like he almost encourages you at times. So I think that's what's really incredible to see this strong little man really show up for you, and I really do. I do feel like, he's also very, very connected. He's very in tune, very in alignment. Oh. And he's like your little power source.
He is.
And I feel like, that feels really exciting. And so I see, obviously we've got this relationship, but getting back into the wrestling for now, I think the wrestling is going to be a little short-lived, if I'm honest. Yeah. I don't really see it being long-term. I feel like you're going to get back in, and then we're just going to go ahead and take a bit of a different direction. So I feel like there's going to be just enough to kind of go, okay, I've got this, and let me do this.
Yep.
And I definitely feel like the acting you could do so much more with the acting if you give yourself the opportunity to really go for it and put yourself out there. I really feel like that could really go in a much bigger direction for you as well.
It's interesting because that's exactly when I got back into wrestling. I thought, okay, 1 year kind of max. But
that's what I was going to tell you.
Really?
So 1 year. I was like, maybe a year. And see, that's so funny. Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Because I really want to use it as not a platform, but I want to open up myself to that world again. But it's only because I want to see what my options are. Where can I take this further?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. But I feel like you absolutely can take it further. But I still like the idea of you writing a screenplay or a TV show. So really think about that.
The TV show has been a goal.
Yeah, but you honestly could write it around either female wrestlers, or you could write it around female firefighters, and really, kind of create a series that's around, a team of female firefighters and things like that and what they're going through. So there's a lot that you have. Again, your experiences are really there for you. So, you really are going to be showing. I want to kind of address the codependency thing. As much as we can work on that, and I think it's wonderful to work on it, it's also just as important to accept yourself for who you are. If you're a codependent individual, stop being so hard on yourself about that. Just like, look, because the right partner is going to understand that, and they're going to do everything they can to be supportive of it, right? They're going to say, look, I understand, let me do this part to help you build trust. Let me do this part to help you feel safe. This is what you need. Let's work it out. And so, and I just feel like when we do that, when you're with someone who actually wants to kind of rub that in and make it like almost use it as a weapon against you. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
That's not the right person. That's toxicity.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And so we just because we're codependent doesn't mean we can't be in a healthy relationship. Right. And a lot of sensitive people are absolutely codependent because there's a part of us where our soul is meant to be with others. We're meant to be. We're not. You can be independent and do your thing, but we know we're connected. We know we're all one. So if we think of like one big soul and we break off into all of our little individual, there's always a piece of you that needs the piece of others. Like, right?
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
It's almost an enlightened place. We just have to figure out how to be healthy with it and how to do it in a way that is best for everyone.
And not let toxic people take advantage of that side of you.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because they will feed off the light.
Oh man, you really touched on some pretty amazing things. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. That gives me so much hope.
Yeah, and, you're welcome. Of course. My pleasure.
That was amazing. Well, I'm so excited we finally got to meet. I will definitely be signing up for a class in the new year. I'm so excited.
Can't wait to see you. The next round, it starts January 12th, I believe it is.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes. So I look forward to seeing you.
And again, thank you so much. This was such an amazing experience on so many different levels. I didn't want to fangirl you, but there's a little bit of fangirling going on.
We will take it. I love it so much. But I'm very excited for you.
Thank you.
This 2022 is really, it's going to be a breakout year in regards to you allowing love into your life, and really that partner just gives you the reassurance to go for the things that I think you're most fearful of. And that's incredible. So just do it. I think you two are going to work together. I really do. I feel like you guys are going to work, on a project or something together as well.
Oh, that's so exciting. I also want to say I said my son. I don't think I said my son at any point. You just pulled that out of the air. I think I said I wanted to be a super mom. Yeah, but I don't think I said my son. Maybe I did, but I'll listen back.
I don't know. Listen back. I don't know. I thought you did, but maybe if you didn't. But wouldn't that be crazy if you didn't? How it's like, oh, your side, like
totally. There was a moment where I was like, did I say my son? Because I don't think I said my son. You're amazing.
That's so fun. I don't know.
I'll let you know. I'll send you an email.
Yeah, just be like, oh yeah, okay, I did or I didn't. Yeah, either way.
You're right either way.